So in any of your system, you will have the configuration data, you will have the master data, and you will have the transaction data. So whenever you enter that data, whenever you maintain these type of data into a system, in the backend, the data will be maintained by a system in the form of tables, whether it is the configuration data, master data, transaction data. So these type of data system is going to manage in the backend in the form of table. Whenever any report needs to be created, whenever any reports needs to be triggered by the system, so it will not take it from the FBL3N, FSCM, or any normal transaction code which we use. So it will not go to the transaction code. It will take the data from where? From the table only, and that is how that output will be generated by the system. So here also, whenever we'll be working on the validation and the substitution, so we'll pick the data from the table only. So that is the reason we are discussing the tables. Now, how to access the table here, and also sometime why we need to use the table. If we can skip the table, yes, we can skip the table, but at the same time, being a consultant, you are expected that you should have the hands-on on the table, because sometime it may happen that you have not been given the access to the production system, you have not been given the access to the prediction system, and user has pointed out some issue, user has raised the issue, then how you are going to fix it? First you need to check that issue, and how you are going to check it? So because you don't have the authorization in the prediction system, and you are, if you want to try the, if you want to replicate that same scenario in the quality, so first you need to understand that issue, and to understand that issue you need to have some data, you need to find some data in the prediction system. So if you will not be given the authorization to access the data in the prediction system, then how you will be able to get it? So in that case, these tables are going to help us. In that case, these tables will help us to find out the data, because let's say if you have not been given the access for the FS10, that is the transaction code we use to check the balance. If you have not been given the access to see the line item, then again we have the table. If you have not been given the access to see any of the master data, let it be vendor, customer, GL, asset, material, then again you can go to the respective table and you can check the information. So that is the reason sometimes this table we also need to know, so that we can make a use of them where we don't have the authorization for the respective transaction code. Now how we can access the table? So we have been given two transaction code for this. Old one is SE16 and new one is SE16N. Old transaction code is SE16 and new one is SE16N. So this old one looks like this. You need to give the information. So let's say here we have the table name LFVK. We'll enter this information and system is going to give you these fields. So it is saying that okay, give the information. So give some basic information. Now you can just see it is the labels are coming with the technical name. Okay, if you want the label should be maintained or should be displayed by system with the field name only. So what you do, you can go to the setting. We need to go to the user parameter. In the user parameter, you can just see here we have the keyword. So these keyword you want to give with the field name or with the field label. So we want to have the field label, and now we can press enter button. Now you can just see those those field names are those field names have been replaced with the label. So we can see now it is coming as vendor. We have the bank country banking. So this is how we can display. Okay, if you want to restore it, so here you want the technical name to be maintained or to be displayed. So here we can have the technical name or field name. Now this is the old transaction code I'm just sharing with you. We have the new transaction code. It is SE16N. So mostly we use this transaction code only because on this transaction code you will have the field name as well as technical name. You have the field name or the label as well as your field name as well. So you can just see on the previous screen also system was just showing you the information related to the LIFNR, then B banks, then we have the bank KL, and we can find out the field name for these technical names. Now The next question is how we can get the information. So let's say I will just, because we can't remember all the tables. There are so many tables. There are n number of tables we have, but at the same time we can remember some important table. What are the important tables? So here we have the vendor master data, customer master data, GL master data. So for these master data, for the asset master data, you can recall the or you can remember the tables. At the same time, we have the transaction data. In the transaction data, we have two important tables. What are those two important tables? I'll just share with you. And with respect to the configuration, so we can't remember all the tables. We can Google it also. Okay. So for example, here you can just see we have the table name. I want to check the table name. It is T001 and T001. T001. So this table is going to give us the company code information. Remember that OBY6 where we can see the global parameter where the information we have maintained at a company code, we can see that. So if the same information you want to see through the table, how we can view it? So we need to search for the table. It is T001, and again for the fiscal year, for the posting period, for the field status, then for the document type, for the number range. So for all these activities, we have been given the respective table. So for the number range, we have the table name NRIV, and we can maintain the number range. We can see the number range assigned. Then for the table, it is T001. We can check the company code information. So which company code information you want to check? I want to check the company code information. It is 2186, and after that we can click on the execute button. So you can just see here it is giving you the information that this is the name of the company, this is the city, country, currency, language. Then we can also find out the company name, address. Then we can go on the right side. So whenever we give the name of any company, so it is going to give some unique ID. So that address is the unique ID for that company name. Now we can just go on the right side where we can see some X signs are coming. So why this X alphabet X is coming? So this means that you have selected these check boxes in the global parameter. If you remember, we have selected these check boxes with the value date, business area, fiscal year. That is the reason these have been marked by the X alphabet. Now we can go on the right side. We can find out some more information if we have. So here you can just see we can find out the posting period variant and the fiscal year field status variant. We can find out we have the input output text assigned to this company code. So this type of information you will be able to view it. Now again, if I go to some other table, let's say I want to find out the information related to the house bank. So let's have here the house bank. For this again we can have the table name. It is T012K. This is the table we can use to see the house bank information. We have the table name, it is T012K. Now you need to give the information because house bank we maintain at which level? At a company code level. So it is saying that for which company code you want to find out this house bank information. So let's say I want to find out the information for my company code starting from 21802 let it be 21702 to 2186, whatever the house bank we have maintained for each of these company code, we want to get them displayed. So what do? You press enter button. This is how you can give the range. And if you have selective company code, so you can just see this is a multiple selection button, how we can make a use of it. So for example, you have some data. So you have some random data. Let's say you have the data 2180. After that, you have 2187. Then you have 21 or not the 2187. That will be 2177. Then you have 2173. Then you have 75 and 8. So these are the set of company code you have. Now you copy from here and then you can paste over here. How to have it? So you need to click on this arrow button and paste over here. Now you can also see the number of entries we have copied. We have copied 5 entries. You can click on the execute button and you can see now if the green line system is just showing it means that we have the multiple selection. Now we enter the multiple selection. Now click on the execute button. So it will just show you the house bank information we have maintained for these company code. You can just see for the company code 2173, we have three house bank. For the company code 2186, again we have three house bank, and we can find out their account ID. We can find out the house bank ID. We can find out the currency for this house bank. GL we have assigned to this house bank, each of these house bank, and then we can also find out the information for the name, what is the name of that house bank, if it is the payment disbursement or the collection. So that information will be able to find out. Now again you will have the table for further, you will want to find out the bank account information. So you can explore the table, what is the table, and accordingly you will be able to find out that information. So this is related to the configuration. Now let's talk about the master data. So we'll start with the GL account. So we have the GL account. In that GL account, we maintain the information. Actually, we have two segments in the GL master data, three segments in the vendor master data, three segments in the customer master data, and two segments in the asset master data. So this is the information we need to know. Okay, let's talk about the GL master data. Again, we have how many segments? We have two segments. We have the chart of account segment and company code segment. So
Yeah,
some part of it you will maintain at a chart of account level, and some part of it you will maintain at a company code level. And accordingly, the system has maintained the table for this, because we have a separate table for the chart of account setting, and we have the separate table for the company code setting. So how we can able to view that? So let's say here we have the GL information, and I want to find out the information. It is at a chart of account level. If it is a chart of account level, then we can go for the table name. It is SKA1. So you can just see here we have the GL account, and this GL account system is going to give you the information at which level, at a chart of account level. Then we can go for the SKB1. So this information you will have at which level, at a company code level. So first we'll search for the SKA1. Let's find out what type of information we have. So my chart of account is what? My chart of account is, it is CA86, and based on this chart of account we will be able to populate the GLs. So you can just see these are the GL, we have 42 GL, and when these were created, how many are the balance sheet account, how many are the income account. So you can just see here we have the BS, that is the balance sheet, and you can see the X sign, it means that these are the balance sheet account. You will also find out that some of those will not have the X sign in this column called balance sheet. Why? Because these are the P&L account. That is the reason. And you can also see here the 80. 80 means the income, or it is a P&L account type we have been given. So you can just see all those accounts we have maintained as a P&L account. So for those accounts, you will find this X sign under the column 80. Okay. So it means that all your balance sheet account will be identified with the letter X in this column, and all your P&L account will be identified with the letter X in the 80 column. Now, apart from this, we can also able to find out for each of the GL what is the who is the username created it, and what is the account group we have under which we have created it. Then what is the long text, short text we have. So this type of information we will be able to find out at which level, at a chart of account level. Now let's say you don't want to find out the information at a chart of account level. You want to have it at a company code level. So accordingly, you can change here the table name. Let it be the table name as SKB1. And after that, you need to give the information for the company code. Now see the change. So in place of the chart of account, system is showing you or asking you the company code information, because this is the table relevant for the company code setting. Now we have the company code ID. Let it be the company code ID as 2186, and accordingly we can click on the execute button. So you can just see here we have the different set of information. Here you will find a different set of information. What type of information we can find out? So this is the common one, the GL information, because in the previous one system was just showing the GL account, and this is the again same thing we can find out, like the in the previous table system is just showing you the creation date and user ID who has created it. But this is different. So this is the field setup we can see at a company code level, because it was not showing at a chart of account level. Then we can also find out how many are the reconciliation account, what is the GL currency we have maintained, then what is the relevant to cash account we have selected, then how many GL we have activated for the line item, for the open item. So these field you will be able to get it, or this type of information you will be able to get it under this table. You can just see the open item element. So you have this X sign, X sign. These are those accounts for which you have activated the open item. Then you can also find out for each of the GL what is the sort key. Then you have selected the only balance in local currency checkbox. So this type of information you will be able to get it. Now this is the GL master data. Same way, you will have the vendor master data table, customer master data table, and you will have the asset master data table. So now if I just walk you through the vendor master data table, so we have the transaction code. It is LFA1. It is going to give you the information your vendor at a journal data. We can find out. Then we have LFB1. It is going to give you the information for the vendor master data at which level, at a company code level. Then we have accordingly the vendor master data at a third level, that is the sales rate, that is purchase data. Now here I want to find out how many vendors we have from the company code 2186 to the company code 21, from company 1 21762 to 2186. So we can give this range, and after that we can click on the execute button because I want to find out a list of vendors across these company code. Click on the execute button. You can see here it is showing you that these many vendors we have under the company code 2177. Then we have for two vendors for company code 2186. So this type of information you will not be able to get it without the table. So that is the reason the table have been given and we can access them. Now you can also see some vendors we have created under the 2183, 2184. Then we have 2177. That is how we can save. Okay, so this is a payment method we have assigned. This is the pay terms of payment we have assigned. So this information we'll be able to find out. Okay, if you just scroll, you will also able to find out their reconciliation account number, then the sort key you have selected for these event this subledger account. So this information you will be able to get it. Likewise, you will have the table for the KNB one, that is for the customer. Okay, same way you will have the table for the assets. And what else we have, so this is the master data table. Okay, now and also you will have the table for your material. So for example, we have the table called mara which we use for the material journal material data. We'll be able to find out. Now it is saying that these are the master data table we have. Now what next we have the transaction data. We have the transaction data, and for the transaction data again we have been given the table. We have multiple transaction data table, but the most important two tables are PKPF and BSEC. PKPF and BSEC, because for any of your accounting document, you will have two segments. What are these two segments? We have two segments, header and line item. Now it is saying that if you want to find out the information for the information you have maintained at a header level, or you want to find out the information you have maintained for all your document at a line item level. So accordingly, we have been given the separate table. So we have a separate table for the header and we have a, different table for the line item. So for example, I want to find out the header information, then we can explore the table name BKPF. This is the important table BKPF, and it is going to give you the information at document header level. Now, for example, I want to find out that okay, from my company or in my company go 2186, how many documents we have posted so far. So you can give the company code ID, and after that you can click on the execute button. It will show you how many documents we have entered so far. You can just see 105 documents we have entered so far, and these are the document numbers. These are the fiscal year for which year you have entered it, because since we have taken 2020, so when you will be on the real time project, so in those real time project, so the document you will be able to find out prior to current year. Okay, so you have for the 2019, then 18, 17, 16, 15. So here you need to be specific that okay, for which year you want to find out. So for example, I want to find out here for the year 2020. So if you don't want to search for the 2020, then you can mention here the relevant year. Let it be you want to search for the 2018. So you can accordingly put it here in the year as 2018, and accordingly the system is going to give you the output. So you can just see here we have given the year and still it is showing you 105 document. Document type is there. Then whatever the information you have in the header. So you know that in the header we have the document date, posting date, period. Then This is the information we don't enter, and this is the information maintained by system automatically, like the entered date. So when we have entered it, and what is the time, so that is recorded by the system. Then we have the translation. So if you have entered any data in with the it is related to the foreign currency posting, it will also maintain the translation date. Then we have the user ID who has posted it, what transaction code he has used while doing the posting. And here we have the reference. So it is going to give you the reference of this data. Then we can go on the right side and we can find out here. It is saying that it is a recurring document or it is a normal document. Here you can just see we can also find out the corresponding reversal. So here it is saying that these are reversed with these document number. Then again we have the fiscal year, in which year you have reversed them. Then we have the document header text, so we can find out. We have the currency, we can find out again, and we can also find out the rate. So this is the rate we have used for this posting. This is the rate we have used for this document number 100,010 or 10010. Then this is the indirect quotation we can find out. Then you can go on the right side, so you will be also able to find out any posting which system has made through the session. So we'll be able to find out the session information. So you can just see May post. Then we have the EBS information. We have the done that manual reconciliation through the city. That is the session we have made it that at that point of time. So that type of information you will be able to get it. Okay, so this is the information we'll have it. Now, what else we can find out? Okay, so let's say this is exchange rate type. You can find out. So for some, you have used a document, for you have used the exchange rate type as M, then for the other, you have used the exchange rate type as 86. Now, this is the data, for example, you want to download. Okay, you want to study this table, you want to study this information, or you would need to send it to your business or to your user. So how you will be able to download? You can just see this is the export icon. We can click on the export icon and we can click on the spreadsheet. And here it is. It will ask you that you want to convert it to the Excel. So you have been given the option of open office also. Then you can also available, like you can also choose here the what is the Excel format you want to go with. So if it is a XML format, if it is HTML format, if it is XML format or XLS format, so you can accordingly take it. So here we have the XLS format. So we want this output to be maintained or to be generated in the XLS format. Click on the enter button. It is saying that what where you want to find out your file. So where you want to save your file. So I want to save my file on a desktop with the name 2186 data 2186, and this is not something that you can save with this information for this table. You can, in the same way, you can save the information or you can export the information for any of your table. We can click on the save option and we can click on the allow option if required. So here system is going to convert that information into the Excel. Okay, so this is how we can convert it. The same information system has now given you in the Excel format. Okay. Those fields which you don't require, you can remove them. Then on that, you want to apply any keyword or you want to apply any VLOOKUP accordingly, you can do it. Now, you can once again go back and you can also find out the information for the other segment of the document, that is the BSEC. So again, in the BSEC, you will have a different set of fields. You can see the field name and here we have the technical name. So some of the field name you can remember. For example, you can remember the field name of the company code, which is Bucharest. Then you can also remember the document number field name, which is Belnar. Then remaining, you can just, it is up to you, you want to remember it. So here you can also remember this account type field name, that is Coart. So these are the basic one which you should remember. It is up to you. You can also sometimes search it. Okay, it is not mandatory that you should know this, but the information, the The logic is that you should have the hands-on on the table. If somebody will ask you, okay, are you well versed with the table? So yes, we are well versed with the table. Now, okay, so how we can find out the output for the BSET table? So we need to give the information for the company code. Let it be the company code as 2186, and accordingly you will be able to find out the line item data. If you remember in the previous table, system was just showing you the how many documents. So system was just showing you the line item 105, but here we have 228. Why? Because these are the line item data. This is my line item data, not the header wise, not the document number wise data. Okay. Here you can just see we have the document number. So in this document number, it is saying that you have two line items. We have the first line item, second line item. Then again for the next document number, which is 1001, you have how many line items? You have four line items. Okay, so that is the reason system has maintained how many line items? System has maintained for these documents 228 line items. And for each of the line item, you will be able to find out, you will be able to see that we have maintained which posting key, which account type, and if it is a debit and credit line item. So this type of information you can't have it from your header information or the BKPF table which we have checked earlier. Now you can also see the amount. So this amount you will not be able to have it in your header information. Then we have the currency. Then we can go on the right side and we can explore some more information. So this is how we can view the table.
Thanks for watching this video. You can like, comment, share, also email us for more details. Thank you.